It puts a whole new angle on Lena, what you were saying is the importance of the one-on-one conversation. Because maybe in the future, I'll have a conversation like this with Efrat AI. I won't know if I'm talking to Efrat or not. But right now, at least the conversation, that's real. And you can't replace that with AI. The idea here that you're talking about, all of you, is we have to have a plan to address trust. And one of the best ways that we can do that is not through mass media, mass outreach. It is through one-on-one conversations. It's the reason why hyper-personalization is such a big, topic these days, because it's about the one-on-one relationship in B2B, right? That's what it's really about. Why would we throw out the one-on-one conversation during that, right? Here's what I thought was really interesting. You guys opened up my eyes to this in our last conversation. Is you said, Steve, internal alignment, it's one of the biggest challenges, right, that came out of the report, but it's also the foundation for building external trust. And Fred, I'd love for you to take the lead on talking about what is it about internal alignment that is so important to build that foundation for trust.
Absolutely. I want to look at alignment in general in three ways. The internal alignment is so critical in general for success because you need one unit way for your organization to go to one direction. It doesn't matter if your organization is 10, 20, 500 or 50,000 people, right? If you take this power to go to the same direction, the power is much bigger. That's one. It's simple, right? Well, how you divide the energy, that's one. The second thing is that when you have alignment and you have one story and not different type of story per executive, per teams, in the team to the customer is much more clear. It's like parents, right? And they tell you different stories or different messages. But if you have one message and you can tell that this is the way the family and the work growing, it's still for the kids to understand what is the expectation and what they need to do. Same with customer. If we have one message and one way to see through and very clear point of view, a company needs to have point of view. A strong company or successful company have a very clear point of view that they share with the customers. And the same thing between us, it's all about we want our employees to be happy. Right? We want our employees to wake up in the morning and say, oh my God, it's the best thing that happened to me. I love it here. When they are happy, customers are happy, everyone is happy. It's very difficult to be happy in an environment. There is misalignment between they don't know what to do, their KPI is not clear, success is not clear. Why to wake up in the morning? What's the mission and vision of the company is not clear. And then it's all breaking up. I know I said three things. So it's clarity of our customer, what's the message for them. It's a one message, it's a one energy. I live with energy, so you will hear me talking a lot about energy. It's so much more efficient.
We all have known that in many times in our careers, right? Marketing says one thing, sales says another thing, and then customer success says, what did sales say to you? And now I've got to deliver on that, right? It's like you're talking to three different companies, right? Just at the very essence that it hit me. I'm like, oh my goodness. We all know that misalignment is a huge problem, not only just strategically in where we're going, but what we communicate and how we communicate it from the employee to the customer. I love that. Lina, what do you have to say?
So many points in here, but I think the one that I would absolutely make is C-level alignment. It is incredibly powerful for the culture of a company. I think in the older days, people would say, well, every C-level is coming in to run their function and do their thing. And I think that doesn't work. That alone creates misalignment. I think having a C-level that's actually very intimate, like we are with customers, meaning they have to be in person, they have to get to know each other, they know a lot about each other, constantly talk about the things that they're hearing, what they're experiencing, the cadence on how they hear these things. That's one. I think C-level energy empowerment goes all the way through the organization and builds up that culture of kind of like what you said, Efrat, like waking up and knowing that this is a place I want to be. I know where I'm going and I understand what we're doing. there's one point I'll make here because it's surprising to me. We were just talking with our CEO in one of our sessions about this. The past research shows that for people to remember something that you've told them, you have to repeat it to them about 8 different times for them to remember it. And then recent research now shows that you actually have to do it 22 times. 22. And where I'm going with this is here we make a very big point of repeating and having the same story as a C-level group for our teams so that there's alignment into where we're going, what our goals are, how we want to speak to a customer. That's one point that I would make. But I think the second point that I think is very, very important when you said sales, customer success, and marketing, the way I see the 3 functions, and I always try to make it the commercial function. It doesn't matter who's running what. If you are tightly closed, those 3 executives are tightly closed, those teams will be tightly closed and it becomes a commercial function. It doesn't become, well, marketing's running that. Let them do that while we sales run enablement and go talk completely different to the customer. And then success is just actually talking about something different. So I've gone as far as saying the words we use matter, the sentiment and the energy that we use with customer resonates on alignment. And I also think it impacts trust at the same time because they're hearing the same thing and they might be hearing it from a different person or a little bit different, but it's still the essence is the same. So I think alignment is critical.
When we say alignment, many times the team think that it means that we need to agree on everything. Of course, you have 3 executives in one room. The reason they are executives is because they have strong opinion and they agree on everything. Executives disagree doesn't mean that they don't have alignment. So there is a vision and where we are growing and how we are growing it, and then we need to have an agreement and grow. But to see the process of disagreement, it's very healthy for the organization. I don't want the audience or even my team to think that they can agree on everything. It's actually not healthy to agree on everything or when we don't grow, right? And they have new ideas, then it's growing. There is a big difference between fake it, which I'm completely against, all health disagreement, and alignment of the principle. And that's, I think, something that will distinguish team members. It's in their roles and their maturity. Like when you're starting your career, sometimes when you see executives disagree, it's like the end of the world. And when you get mature, you understand it's actually what.